Bruno. And Florence, a lot of the international press reacting to that announcement by Barack Obama on gay marriage in that interview on Wednesday.
Absolutely, it's all over the press today, and we're going to start by looking at The Independent, which on its front page says, "Thank you, Mr. President. Gay America hails Obama's stand." And there you see a photo of the American president in front of the White House. It's also on the cover of the International Herald Tribune with a slightly different angle, a personal stance with a political risk. And the International Herald Tribune's editorial applauds Obama. It's full of admiration for the U.S. president and what they call his personal joy. They say that though his words won't end this bitter fight on marriage rights, they were of great symbolic value, and Obama showed leadership towards what they call the great civil rights struggle of our time. And the article points out that Mayor Bloomberg of New York City said that no expansion of rights embraced by a president has failed to become the law of the land. So very hopeful about this. But there's one point on which they do disagree with the president, and that's the fact that Obama says it should be up to states to decide on their own, whereas according to the International Herald Tribune, these civic rights are much too precious to be left up either to states or to partisan politics.
Okay, and not everyone, though, joining the party exactly, not everybody agreeing with President Obama.
You could say that. This is the Wall Street Journal, which is known to be conservative, which says that Obama's statement comes as no surprise. Everybody knew that he supported gay marriage, but what this really is a strategy, a pre-re-election, pre-campaign strategy for Obama in a hope to drive the liberal and youth vote and to capture the gay vote. And it's also a trick to divert people's attention away from the real issue of the election, which is the economy. And it's also a strategy to put his main opponent, Mitt Romney, in the hot seat, because now wherever Romney goes, journalists are going to be hounding him on this issue.
Okay. Well, speaking of Mitt Romney, he's in the spotlight today but regarding allegations that he bullied a classmate who was taunted over his sexuality.
Absolutely. Now, this was originally reported in the Washington Post 24 hours after Obama endorsed same-sex marriage. We're going to be looking at an article in The Guardian, however, that talks about this story. Basically, this dates back to when Romney was a schoolboy, and according to fellow pupils of him, he bullied a boy with, quote, bleached blonde hair that flopped over one eye. And basically, according to this article in The Guardian, he and other friends pinned down this boy and chopped off his hair. Now, Romney says that he can't remember this, but did offer an apology to anybody who may have been hurt by what he called just a schoolboy prank. Now, we'll come back to the International Herald Tribune now to look at a cartoon which is also poking fun at Republicans and their stance on gay marriage. There you see a couple watching TV where you see Obama saying that he backs same-sex marriage, and one of them is wearing a GOP, so Republican. There you see a Republican T-shirt, and he's asking a man from the Tea Party, "Will you marry me? Do you want to get married?"
Lovely. Okay, well, we're going to move on now to another story. Two Palestinian men who've been detained in Israeli jails are reportedly now near death. They've been on hunger strike for 74 days, protesting against detention without charge.
Yes, this is an article in The Independent, and it describes a Tara, who's a 34-year-old who's been on a hunger strike for 74 hours now. He's lost 30 kilos. He's lost a lot of his teeth. He's bleeding internally. And as you said, he's been held without charge. He's what they call an administrative detainee. He's been denied a trial. He's been denied permission to view any evidence against him. And he and this other fellow detainee, who's 27-year-old, are just about to die. And according to this article in The Independent, Israel defends its position, saying that it can't reveal evidence against terror suspects without compromising their informants. But they're facing a lot of pressure from the international community to do something, either to release them or to charge them. And Israel is facing a conundrum, because either they can release them, but it'll give other people this idea that they just have to go on hunger strike and they can get a get out of jail free card. But if they die, it could also spark violence. It's interesting to note that since April 17th, some 2,000 Palestinian prisoners have gone on a hunger strike to demand better conditions, and many believe that this could potentially trigger the Palestinian Arab Spring.
Okay, interesting stuff. Well, thank you very much indeed, Florence, for that roundup of some of today's international newspaper articles. there's plenty more still to come here on Live from Paris, including business news. And they say talk is cheap. Well, that's going to be truer than ever now that the EU has voted to bring down mobile phone roaming costs. Hooray, I hear you cry. Well, all the details are coming up with William Edwards after the break. Do stay tuned for that.